Thank you for joining us again on the Navigating with Noel podcast. Happy listening.
Well, in the last couple of years, the unemployment rate has not reduced. There are no jobs. Sorry, it's bad news and it's good news. It depends on the way you manage the information I'm sharing with you. Many of you that are finishing now, there really are no ready jobs for you to do. So what should we do? Pastor Noel, what should we do? These are things that we need to sit down and discuss, because the whole essence of unveiling is to show us light when we don't know what to do. So many of us right now, we are just doing school. What is out there, there is no future, there is no hope. But I want to tell you that God has made a way for his people. He will give wisdom on what we should do. Most of us, at least over 95% of us, would have to start our businesses. That's really the way going forward. The people that will be employed, I don't think will be more than maybe 5 to 10%, despite all the job creation initiatives of the government. So we'll have to start our own business. And there are things I would just like to share with us that will help us to be ready. Trying to define an entrepreneur, and as I make those definitions, it will give you an idea of what you need to do as you get ready for the market. So I said an entrepreneur is an enterprising individual who, through hard work, experience, conscious attention to his or her unique abilities. Do you know your unique abilities? Those things that you do with ease. Those are very crucial questions we need to answer. And then has taken time to develop these abilities into a craft that is highly desired and indispensable. You understand what they are saying here? You have abilities, but you have turned those abilities into a craft. You develop it, you master it, you become diligent in it. That is the work that is available for most of us right now. And you don't need to apply for it. You just need to develop yourself and then be mentored by someone else. Some of us are doing courses that were imposed on us, but I want to tell you that there is a way out. The fact you read something doesn't mean you must practice it. Amen. Whatever skills you have outside of what you have read is your deliverance right now. It's not really what you read. And then those skills also have to be relevant, because if you have skills that are not relevant, it also becomes a problem. So you want to understand, these are the skills that are relevant in the next 5 years. And you want to ensure that you have those. When you have those skills, you will always have job. When people are saying there's no job, it will be sounding like it to you. Because I have a friend like that. He said this thing. When people say he has excess job, because the skill he has are in high demand. So we need to identify those skills and we need to start giving attention to them. It doesn't matter whether you are reading English. If you see that you have a passion for computer, for coding, for programming, just start. I told you Bill Gates was reading law, but right from when he was in his secondary school, he was fascinated by computer. They said he spent his time in the computer lab. So even though he was an art student, he didn't bother. The skill is what's more important than what you read. So don't let your paper qualification disempower you. It doesn't matter what you read. I didn't read computer science, but I'm currently going through some programming courses because I know that I will need to have that skill to be relevant in the next 5 years. So, and you don't need to wait. You have to take the initiative. You have to be proactive. You have to know where is the world going in the next 5 years, and you need to position yourself under divine instruction, not just because this is where the world is going. Because I have some other bad news that in the next 5 years, many of the courses many of you are reading, the way it is, you can't even practice it. With the development of what they call Internet of Things, blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, a lot of things now are going to be taken over by robots. We have robotic lawyers now, we have robotic doctors. They are very accurate in operation. He is programmed. He will cut you not more than 1 millimeter deep, and he will not forget scissors or scalpel inside your stomach. There's something that they are now developing that will be able to read the 54 biomarkers in your body. So once it reads that 54 biomarkers, it can diagnose whatever sickness is wrong with you. Where are our doctors? So what I'm saying is, it doesn't mean you'll be relevant, but I'm preparing you. Most of you need to specialize. I was telling them that, look, we now have what they call robotic cars. These cars, just call them. They have GPS on them. They know the place there is traffic. They know where all the potholes on the road are because they are programmed and they are designed that they can communicate with themselves. So they will reduce accident. From the research they've done, they say those cars reduce accident by almost 80%. They call them driverless cars. So what I'm saying is, anything that is routine right now, anything that is repetitive task, just like when the post office, when email came, people were still working in post office. They didn't know that email has sacked them. How many of you go to post office today? How many of you have written letter? There's what they call the fourth industrial revolution, and it has started. We are just at the beginning of it, and in the next 3 to 4 years, the changes that is going to happen in the world, a lot of people will become jobless and new jobs are being created. So I'm sharing this information with you for you to position yourself for the new jobs that are going to come. That is the only way that you will be relevant, and most of them are playing around some of the things I have mentioned. So even though you are a lawyer, what you need to do now is not to do the general practitioner. Be a specialist, because no matter how wise a computer is, it cannot do what a specialist will do. So we need to specialize, and then we now have to become creative. All of us have to become more creative. We need to use our mind. We're in what they call the knowledge economy. The knowledge economy, you are as rich as to the knowledge you have. It's not so much of the degree you have anymore. There's a tech company I kind of run with a partner. We need people that can code. Some of these people have never gone to school. They didn't go beyond secondary school, but you have to pay them millions of naira because they have the skill. So what I'm telling us is, please, in all your education, make sure you get skill. What did I say? Get a skill and develop that skill to the point that someone will be willing to pay you for it. Cook to the point that someone will be willing to pay you to come and cook for them in their parties. Yes, and that can only come by diligence, by what I shared with you. Constant practice all the time, doing it regularly, knowing all about it, and giving it adequate time. We need to ensure that we are not victims of what is about to come. So that's why I said we need to be proactive. You need to go and sit down and analyze. Know yourself. This is the real solution now. Know yourself in terms of your personality. That's why I sent a link. Many of us are reading courses that are variance with our personality, and because you are variance with that course, you always struggle. You are just reading that course because you didn't score the cutoff mark you thought you wanted. Because some of us, the courses we think we wanted, it's not that we really want to read it, but because it's what is in vogue. Oh, my friend is reading engineering, my friend is reading. Many of us never took time to research the courses we are reading. We're only reading it because our parents chose them. But you need to now look inwards, look at yourself. What are the latent potentials I have? Am I an analytical person? Am I somebody that like to relate with people, right? Like somebody who doesn't like to, can be in this church for 3 years and he may not have visited more than one person or two persons. And it's not because he's not a brother, but that is how he is. However, if you give him his phone, he knows how to use it. I know some of us, our phone only use it to snap, but this guy with his phone, he can be using his phone to program his computer. He can use his phone to do so many things that others cannot do. That kind of a person has an analytical mind. He should be thinking of going into things that would make him spend time alone with things. He has the personality of not so much into people. Now, there are some other guys that in just 1 week, he has visited everybody. You should know that that kind of a person is going to be a people's person. Now, the kind of thing that kind of a person should be doing to be different from the kind of thing that this guy that does not know, and he's not a bad guy, he's not snobbing, he's not being proud, that is just him. So, but there are things that he's capable of doing that this other guy is not capable of doing. The best will come out of us when we discover who we are. Once you discover who you are, with the Spirit of the Lord leading you, because sometimes we think we know who we are. God has to lead you to show you to yourself. So you need to go on a journey of self-discovery. Most of the people you are seeing today that are being celebrated, they only discover themselves. This man just discovered that, look, my interest is in computer. Even though my parents wanted me to read law in Harvard and they had paid school fee, I don't think really this is what my interest is, because and that's how they developed an enterprise. You now developed that interest. What are you interested in? You need to now, what are my interests? You need to list them down. Sometimes there are even things that we do with ease that we are not conscious of, and that is why you need to get feedback from your friends. If your 1, 2, 3 people are telling you, how do you do this thing, and this thing is something that other people struggle to do, it's likely part of your giftings and your talents. So what you need to do now is to sit and think of how you can create an enterprise out of those gifts that you have. Amen. There are a lot of people making money from all this kind of decorations and all this kind of thing, and they are making a living out of it. The Nigerian economy and landscape has changed. Nobody is looking at degrees anymore. People are looking at the value that you can add. So you need to develop yourself to a point that you are adding value, and at that point, then you can begin to earn and make a career out of it.
I am sure what you learned today inspired you. Please don't keep it to yourself. Share with others and join us again on this platform for another exciting podcast. Please connect with us through our social media handles. One of our mentors will definitely contact you. So we look forward to having you on our platform. Cheers.